Okay guys, so welcome back. Right now I'll review the market, like what happened during Friday and what I'm looking towards next week. Okay, so on a weekly time frame we closed above this balanced price range, the volume gap over here, and right now I think we are looking towards this area over here, and just two small volume imbalances, and probably this highs over here and this volume imbalance over here as well. Okay, so going back down to the daily time frames, right, initially I had this marked out since the beginning of the week, and I was looking at this to be a support, like somewhere whereby the price will bounce in confluence with this gap over here, right? Usually these types of gap forms your so-called support and resistance. Okay, right, so we came down here on Friday, and right now we closed above this area here, right? This was the fair value gap, this huge gap over here. Okay, this was the daily fair value gap, the bullish daily fair value gap, so we closed above. Okay, so heading into next week, I think we may want to revisit the gap, if I mean like the fair value gap. If not, I think we go higher, but it depends on how the open, it depends on the Sunday's open. Okay, moving into the hourly chart, right? So right here we have the levels I'm interested in. Okay, we took out buy side, and I think this is an area where I want to look at. We have a bullish order block, and we have a bullish fair value gap with reference to this swing low, right? So if you draw the fibs, it's right below 50% and heading into 62-70% retracements, right? And that is where I think we may look to bounce to take out this high over here. Okay, if in any case this breaks below this swing low and closes above, forms a fair value gap, then I think we are heading towards this low right here, and I think this fair value gap, right? Right, it all depends on Monday's trading day and how the Sunday open performs or gives. Okay, that's for the 1 hour chart. Pretty clear that from last week when we had the breakdown of this candle here, so we took out buy side and we broke through the sell side, created a fair value gap right here. So this should have been treated as bearish, right? We reached into this fair value gap once more on Friday. Okay, anyways, from here you can see that price just hovers around and then breaks down, but did not take out this low. So on Thursday I was looking for, on Friday I was looking for this low to be tagged, but I honestly did not expect it to go past beyond this area here. This area was the previous day's gap. Okay, right, even though on the daily it was perfect, but I did not think that we were reaching that deep, right? But as well as you have known, if you have traded or seen or watched NFP before, it's just manual intervention. There's no way, or it's better for you not to participate even if you know what's the overall direction, because you might just get taken out very quickly before the real move happens. Because on previous NFPs it's always a whipsaw up and down, and then after like maybe 5 minutes or maybe 2 minutes the real move begins. So there's no way your stop loss could have protected you in unless you're playing from high time frames, but it's still I don't have experience in playing that, so right now I'm not so concerned about not catching this entire move down. So maybe in the future I might try playing on a 1 hour time frames, but as you can see from the CPI, I think it was okay, the CPI in November, right? I was playing on I think a 1 hour time frame, and I just got wrecked. Okay, because the plays played out on a daily time frame, so it's it's very uncertain and it's not high probability, so I would prefer not to trade it. Okay, so yep, we have the breakdown here, and then on Friday we came back up, so I think right now it's still bullish, and as it should be on the daily time frame as well. It's a bullish order flow. So heading to next week, I'm looking to long into this swing high over here. Okay, because we took out relative equal lows, equal highs, and the next area of interest will be this high and this high. Right, so this can be seen as like a sell side taken in the first swing high broken, fair value gap, order block, swing low. It is just the model forming. Okay, this is the model on a 1 hour chart. Alright, so next, heading into 15 minutes, I want to show you what I was waiting for yesterday. So initially when the drop began, I was looking for an entry to long, because I knew that on a daily time frame the order flow is bullish. So looking at this relative equal highs or exact equal highs over here, I'm thinking the price should run into this area here, but I did not see it coming as it would run through these highs on Friday itself. I thought it needed the following week in order to do that, but surprise, but at the same time not so surprised. Okay, it's NFP. Anyways, I was looking at this fair value gap initially right here, but price didn't give me an entry and it just pulls higher, and then we created a short-term high. Price went through it, and then what do we have here? We have this fair value gap over here. So when you take the swing low to the swing high, it's right below 50%. We have fair value gap, we have order block, and we have swing low. So it's the model, and we recently took up sell side. So this model is valid. However, I did not enter on this model because I was looking at the 1 minute chart. I wanted a break in this low. Okay, so let me just go into the 1 minute chart. Because it was non-farm payrolls, I wanted my stops to be as low as possible. I didn't want to risk, but looking from hindsight, it's not a bad trade actually. So on the 1 minute, I was waiting for this low to be tagged, but it didn't. Created an equal low over here, right? These two lows, I was looking for them to be tagged, either one of them, to offer me a sell side, and then that model forming on the 1 hour or on a 1 minute chart. Okay, on the 15 minute chart, the candle closes are right at the equilibrium of the 15 minutes fair value gap. Very clean indeed, and it took out this swing low over here. And then when it took out this swing low, the price went through a local high, and from here you can see price went up but came back down again. It's just sloppy movements, and then eventually at around 2 p.m. the price starts to move. Okay, so on the 1 minute chart, because since we didn't get the tag, and there's actually SMT divergence playing out on between the three indices, So it was a valid reason to long in these areas here. So I was actually looking at this this fair value gap right here. I was looking at this fair value gap, but as you can see, it never got tagged. It just stopped right in this fair value gap. Because the thing is, swing low to swing high, below 50% is this fair value gap, but it never even tagged. It didn't even tag the 50%. Alright, so that was one of the blunders. Like when price just don't want to give you, you can't have it, man. So price, after which just went through the target that I had initially had in mind. Right, on the 5 minutes it was actually pretty clean, because what do we have here? Over here, prior to this run out, price broke this swing low here, created a fair value gap right soon after, and right after this gap was created, it was traded through. So this became a balanced price range. This is when the state of delivery of the algorithm changes. So this fair value gap reverted from a bearish to a bullish fair value gap, and in this area is the area where you want to look for longs. Okay, because I was looking for it to color outside the lines for a little bit, as what ICT says. I was waiting for it to color just right below the lines, just for like a few points, or like 1-2 points or quarter points, then I will get my entry, but it didn't give. So from here, this bullish fair value gap acted as support, and it bounced off from here, and it took how long? Let's have a look over here. Let's say you bought right at the lows, because for me myself, I usually aim in this balanced price range. I usually aim for the lows, as close to the 50% as possible. And over here we have 28 points, a very decent move up. Your stops is unbeatable. So long here, stops below this low, and your take profits over here. This is a 6R, quite a good trade. Okay, 6R. And if you traded on the 15 minutes, it's even better, of course, because you have lower entries. Okay, so 15 minutes, this is the half. I'll just take the half of the, I'm not picking the lows, but just the logical points, half of the fair value gap over here, because on NFP sloppy days, you really want to limit the risk exposure, okay, to the highs. 34 points, almost 1%, right? 4R, very respectable trade over here. Okay, but if I were to target this highs over here, I'm probably looking to hold it out to the weekend, which I might not. So maybe nearing the end of the close, if price managed to hit this target, this fair value gap over here, I will just take the money and run, or just close my trade. Right, it's either this high or this high over here. Still respectable, 26, and over here 20 points. Very good trades presented on NFP. Okay, this is why I really like to trade after NFP. Like, it just gives you very solid trades most of the time. Okay, this is my third NFP that I've seen that provides me with this type of trade moves, right? It's just that I didn't catch it. What a pity, but oh wells. There will always be next month. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. Heading into next week, as I've mentioned, I'm looking for this 1 hour fair value gap to be tagged, and because this is a very good setup, we shifted market structure by taking out this highs and this highs over here. So I'm looking for the market to bounce in this area and up. Hopefully we get it on the Monday, but let's just check the calendar for next week. Forex Factory. I think I need to get a better performing computer. It's loading it's really slow, especially when I'm recording. Okay, from 5th to the 9th of December, apply settings. Alright, so Monday we have a rate folder news at 10 a.m. New York local time. Tuesday nothing, Wednesday nothing, Thursday we have unemployment claims. It's a medium impact news at 8:30, and on Friday we have rate folder news as well as just high impact and medium impact included, 8:30 and 10. So I think Monday would be a really nice day to see this happen on the lower time frames. Okay, so I think that's about it. Let's just double check. Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, I'll update again next week.